What is up, you guys? Welcome to another week of VGRx, your weekly dose of news and other gaming stuff. And I am joined by my, of course, other co-hosts, Zach.
What's up?
Britton.
Hey, everybody.
And of course, Dan.
I'm a person.
And we have I don't want to say a special guest because he's not.
Guest.
He's a good guy.
But we do have one of our other coworkers here today, and that is Brooks over here.
Coworker. He doesn't stress the word friend ever.
Yeah, coworker is a strong term. I would prefer more of acquaintance, if you will.
I'm in your house.
I mean, it wasn't by choice. I'm just the only one who has enough room to do this, so it happens. Anyways, we got a good show for you lined up. We what are we doing today, guys?
We're going to talk a bit.
Okay.
Got some news things in mind.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about Mario a little bit, I hope.
Of course.
We'll try not to get carried away, or I should say I will try not to get carried away.
I know, Odyssey just came out.
And then we're going to talk about the important stuff like Pokemon, right?
Yeah, of course.
Good one.
We do have some Pokemon on the docket.
And then we have we got some Terraria launched here, so you have something to watch while we do things and stuff.
Yeah, because if you just had to look at us, no one would even listen to this.
Let's jump right in here. I'm just gonna pick one of my old characters and wing it. I don't want to pick my OP character that has 34 hours. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Yeah, no problem.
So we'll get started and let's go.
What's up first?
I think we should start with Mario Odyssey.
Yeah?
Why?
I think you should.
You're too good to me, Zach.
Let's
get it out of the way.
Easy, buddy. This is important stuff.
I'm actually interested in this one, so.
So I believe 3 of the 5 of us have spent time with this game so far.
Oh, come on!
Is that intentional? Are you undermining the Mario Odyssey talk?
Yes.
Not cool, man.
Yes, I am.
Alright, go ahead.
It's a good game. What do you want to know?
Where do we start?
Where?
It got a 10 out of 10?
A 10 out of 10? It got all the 10s out of 10.
They got a lot of 10 10s.
It's currently the highest rated game of all time on game rankings, and I believe it's in the top 10 on Metacritic. So very well received, it's safe to say. I have completed it, so I have to be very careful as to what I say, because I'm spoiler sensitive, and many people are, and I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, including people in this room that have played much less of it.
I probably get more upset about spoilers than anyone I know.
Yeah, I'm sensitive, Dan. Don't you worry. How much have you guys played?
I have
0.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Okay. This is, you probably all know, this is the sequel in the 3D Mario series that we've been waiting for a long, long time, and it very much delivers on...
Since Galaxy 2, right?
I don't even count those, honestly. The
Really?
Galaxy games are 3D, but they're linear levels.
So
you play from point A to point B in those levels. The last one that was truly like exploratory, wide open, even sandboxy was Super Mario Sunshine on GameCube.
Okay.
And before that was Super Mario 64. So I would venture to say this is essentially the third entry.
Skip 2 whole consoles before we got a third entry.
Yeah. What gives?
Looking at it from that perspective, I think a lot of people would group Galaxy in there, though.
Sure. Mario has skewed in a
definitely
few...
3D.
Why wouldn't you count Galaxy a part of that?
I just told you why.
the exploratory nature.
Yeah, Galaxy is point A to point
not?
B. Odyssey? No, I'm saying Odyssey is very exploratory.
Oh,
the Galaxy games are
linear
point A to point B.
I was going to say,
within each galaxy.
All of those games are linear.
So you go to any one of the worlds in Super Mario Odyssey, and most of them are just vast, wide open spaces. There's so much exploration, and unlike a huge, wide open world game where sometimes there's corners of the world with nothing interesting going on, every crevice of this game is jam-packed with something fun to do. And there's always something vying for your attention. You can very much be heading toward a Power Moon, which is kind of the main collectible in the game.
Spoilers?
Sorry.
Yeah.
From the first 1 minute of the game. And usually...
some people haven't played 1 minute. You don't know that.
All right, I'm
you
sorry.
I
thought I was going to be spoiler
Here, let me try and sell a game to you, but I'm not going to tell you anything about the game.
Yeah,
Mario
well, if you put
is in the game and he's on an Odyssey, ladies and gentlemen.
That's really all it
Good
takes.
night.
I'm in.
Man, you sound like Jimmy Fallon. Congratulations.
I try.
So yes, there's just so much to see, so much to find. It's absolutely gorgeous. It runs at 60 frames per second, pretty much constantly.
You like to
I
nail
have not
that
seen
fat
any
tone.
slowdown. That's been a theme with Nintendo's first-party releases this year. They insist on 60 frames per second, which is pretty awesome because you don't get that on a lot of other systems / developers / games. You know.
So I actually looked up the scores on Metacritic, and somebody actually gave the game a 0.
Okay, but I mean that's throwaway.
What?
They gave
A person did.
a person
If you're gonna
did,
troll,
yeah.
you can't like a
In
2.
Spanish.
Not a
Doesn't
0.
even
In
matter.
Spanish.
So okay, here's a question I have for you then. Talking about scores, having played through the whole game,
Yeah. Well, okay.
Do you-
caveat?
having
finished
played
the game,
through,
there is so
having-
much left to do,
having
so-
played through to what you could call finishing the game,
Sure.
does the game deserve its 10 out of 10 from so many people? Like, what I think back to here is Breath of the Wild. I very much enjoyed that game.
Me
I
too.
absolutely loved it while I was playing it. 95, 100 hours, I think, something like that is what I
Yep.
put in
Yep.
like 2 weeks. And after the fact, I could look back at the experience and say, all right, so there's a few things here that I think could have been done to improve the game. It's still a great game. I absolutely do not regret it. But I definitely can see where people could say, well, you could improve upon it. Now,
Absolutely.
you're still fresh off your finish of the game, but is there anything that sticks out that way to you?
Here's what I'll say to that. I really enjoyed my time with Breath of the Wild as well, but it was clear close to the start of that game that it had forsaken some of the things I love about Zelda in favor of doing so many new and different things with the series. The open world stuff was amazing. It was a fantastic open world game, but in the process it lost things like dedicated linear dungeons with world puzzles rather than just these nebulous shrines that were puzzles for the sake of puzzles. Also, looking back, there wasn't a lot of great boss battles in that entire game, and that was always one of my favorite parts of Zelda. So there were very clear reasons in my mind why maybe people would have problems with Breath of the Wild and not give it 10s out of 10s, and some people did, and I think that's more than justified. In Mario's case, even coming fresh off of it with my rose-tinted glasses, can you guys just focus?
Sorry.
I still think that everything that Mario games, at least 3D Mario games, have ever set out to do, this game does as well as or better than any other examples of the series. So, open world exploration, Super Mario 64 style, I think it does everything that game did or better. The collection stuff, it's been expanded upon, it's massive. It's not just like, oh, okay, there's this many moons in this area and they're just scattered
Spoilers.
around the level.
Spoilers.
You're always doing something interesting to attain the moon. So it's not just arbitrary collection either. So I think all of the things that were great about past 3D, non-linear Mario games, this game does better. And based on that, I think it absolutely deserves the scores that it's getting.
All right.
Through and through.
I agree with it too.
So the lowest score I got from an actual critic was 75. And that's from Playzine. They said, though I really need game, Super Mario Odyssey is an utterly underwhelming adventure for every long-term Super Mario fan in existence.
Man, that guy has never played a Mario game before.
Also, apparently doesn't know what other Mario fans think.
Unless Cappy brainwashed you. In that case, you are a satisfied zombie customer now. No, seriously,
Wow.
only a zombie would find a healthy challenge
This
in this
guy's
pleasant but
trolling
disappointingly easy Super Mario walk in the park.
It was actually tough.
Yeah, it was.
And-
I found myself dying a lot, actually.
Guys, this isn't a spoiler, don't get mad at me, but after the game is over, there's a lot more to do that's a lot
Spoilers.
harder than the rest of the game.
I'm
In
offended,
typical
spoilers.
Mario fashion.
I mean, yeah, I play Pokemon.
you know
so
how
I
that works.
yeah, I
me
play
too.
Pokemon. No big deal.
Pokemon,
Yeah,
like, most Pokemon games start out easy, and then you get to the end, and then there's nothing else to do.
Case in
There's a
point-
couple things. But
Case in point, Sun and Moon. Easiest Pokemon game I've ever played in my life. I wanted to cry, it was so easy. But then you get to the competitive battling at the end and you're like, oh lord, this is Dark Souls Pokemon.
even before the competitive battling part, there are a few battles there at the end that are actually really difficult because you kind of get blindsided by them, but Yeah, it's still not.
But you got those Z moves, so
it's,
really
it's not
makes
how
the
I
game
imagine
hit.
that Mario probably is, where you get to the end. If it's anything like Super Mario 64, you have 70 stars that you need in Super Mario 64 in order to finish the game,
Mhm.
and then at that point there's still 50 more stars to go collect.
I guess the ratio is probably similar. I finished somewhere around 150 to 200 stars. I am now about to break 500, and I think there's still quite a few. I know there's still quite a few
There's-
more. Because the game makes it pretty clear how many there are. Not total, but like how many you can look at in each area that you still need to collect.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do for a long time. If you do want to find a fault with it, I mean, it's kind of funny to even level this fault against a Mario game, but the story's pretty much throwaway. And that's kind of the case for every Mario platformer. Those
Yeah.
games don't exist to tell good stories or elaborate on interesting characters. It's really just an excuse for platforming. And the characters are fun and charming and endearing, but it's standard Mario fare.
Insert Mario fights
Unplayable.
lizard.
So if we were hoping
Can't-
for
I
like
can't do it.
finally the grand like storytelling experience in a Mario game, this is not that. But that's not what it endeavors to be, and it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be that because
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
that's
good at
fair.
what it does.
That's
If,
definitely
if you
fair.
were looking for story that lacks any gameplay, go play a Telltale game, then play Mario, and you'll have your perfect game.
It'll balance each other out.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Dang, what a
So-
savage!
Well, there's no gameplay in Telltale games
I mean,
anymore.
the entire point of it is to be a tall tale.
What are you saying?
Exactly. And if Mario's meant to be a gameplay game, then
Mm-hmm.
plumber versus a lizard, that's all you need.
He's
I'll
not
say
a lizard; he's a dragon man.
I'll close it out with this. Mario is just it's the most fun I've had in a long time. It's fun, and that's what it attempts to be. That's what it's good at. That's why people should play it. If they're looking for just to sit down and have fun with a game, Super Mario Odyssey is totally a good candidate for that.
Do you give it your review?
star.
Oh, I'd give it a 10. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. for
Brings
sure.
500 stars of approval.
Yeah, I give it 500
More like
out of
1,000.
542.
It puts Korok seeds to shame.
What?
What?
Well, there's 900 Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild. Do you guys play video games?
Oh,
No.
yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Do I have to explain all my game references?
We all have ADD here, so we literally just forget things
Well,
about
you're
other
playing
video
a
games.
You're
Real
playing
talk, I mean,
Mario, so-
I do have ADD.
That's
It's,
fair.
it's a
Okay.
problem.
Wow,
I
sorry,
struggle
I didn't
with
mean to hit home.
We'll work with you, man.
Hashtag.
There's no sympathy here.
Hashtag blessed to have
Hashtag
friends who love you.
Did you just assume my weakness?
There's
My weakness in life. I don't know why I couldn't think of disability.
I don't know.
Did you just assume my disability?
There's gonna be more Nintendo talk, so we can move on from Mario.
Okay.
Well,
I think Pokemon's on the list today for sure.
Pokemon is on
Here,
the list,
one more
but before we
question.
get to
Here.
that, because I will probably go until. we
Okay,
have to
yeah,
stop.
let's mix things in here a little bit.
Let Zach
Let's
pick a topic so he doesn't
no,
cry
I
about
actually
it
have
later.
a question.
What's up?
Once I get a Switch, should
Breath of the
I
Wild.
love this
Breath
question.
of the Wild and Mario be my first two games?
No,
Or is there
Pokemon-
something that surpasses
What do you
Mario?
want? What do you
gonna
want
make
to
for a
pop
Pokemon
your
game?
cherry?
No, I'm not getting
Do you want-
Pokemon.
Do you want Golf Story to pop your cherry? Because
Golf Story's
I'm sure-
fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you a golfer?
I do like Tiger Woods, so...
I do.
It's pretty
I
much
do
that.
enjoy Tiger
Does
Woods.
it give you the nerd rage like Tiger Woods does, where you're like, I really want to just snap my club in half, but at the same time I don't have one.
No, it doesn't do that.
No,
It doesn't do that. It's
Oh,
not
that
the
was
Dark
my
Souls
favorite
of golf
part.
game.
that's my. I want the Dark Souls of golf games. Give it. Neither of us can say golf the first time we
No,
say it.
it's
Golf.
overrated.
amazing.
There's
Gurf.
actually a game
I like a
within.
Gurfa game.
There's a riff on the NES golf game within Golf Story called Golf,
Gal.
and it's pretty
Golf.
much the old NES golf game within the game, and it's hilarious.
You
and
don't
it's
play
fun.
as Alf.
Nope, missed opportunity really.
Speaking of games that have games within them, I think it's Call of Duty Black Ops has Zork in the menu screen.
That's right. I
Yeah,
love that.
Sure does.
That's a deep
Yeah.
cut. Good job, Call of Duty.
There's all the mini games in GTA 4.
Yeah.
You go into arcades
Yeah.
and play them. Yeah.
Go to
Bars, right? You would go play pool.
You can watch TV in those games, and they have original TV.
can. That's right.
And music stations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zach, to answer your question, if you just want to have fun,
Mhm.
Mario. If you want a
Grand Epic Adventure.
immense and immersive world to explore and get lost in, and have a grand epic adventure in.
I think the difference
Well,
there
it's
is
such
that
a-
you're
I
did
did
going
play
for
Breath of the
for
Wild on
day.
Target, and it was pretty fun.
You played
Yeah.
it here briefly too on the
What-
show.
Oh,
Not on
Oh,
the
you played
show.
the intro. It was 30 seconds.
Oh
worth of
yeah,
the
yeah.
game.
Shut up, they
We were
don't know about
rushing
that.
through it,
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like,
That was
jumping.
episode 0. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
The
spoilers.
unspoken.
What is with you and spoilers today, man?
I know. I gotta cut that out.
Good lord.
It's basically if you want a game that you can pick up and just throw down whenever you want. Mario. But if you want a game that's going to have a story and you probably want to keep up on it and continuously play it, Breath of the Wild.
You haven't played either of these games, fool.
I understand
that's
how
the
the series
assumptions.
goes.
That's a decent
What if you're
assessment.
completely wrong about that?
Well, then Zelda and Mario won't be what they've been for the past 30 years.
The
or
funny
so.
thing is, neither of these games are.
Hey, you know what?
I mean,
They're completely
Mario's harkening back to a game from at least, 12, 13
Hang on,
years
hang on, I got a
ago.
question.
Zelda is harkening back to the original Legend of
Do you,
Zelda.
get, do
so
you get to play a flute?
in what?
Breath of the Wild?
There's no ocarina in Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is there
I was-
any
But,
instrument?
hey-
Because you had reeds in Twilight Princess.
Is there any instrument?
I mean,
don't think
if you count a sword as an instrument, then I
An
guess.
instrument of
Do you
death.
play music? I was gonna say you had a wand in Wind Waker, so that
Yeah.
plays music.
There's a wand in Wand of Gamelon, too. Or
Please
maybe there
stop.
wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's just the title.
Guys, speaking
So, what do we got for our next topic?
Let's branch away
do
from
you want me to
this.
go with the random one or the first one off the top of the
So
list?
what's something that you're most interested in? That's what I want to
Dude, I'm paranoid, man.
do
If
think
you
it's
say
just-
Call of Duty,
I'm not.
Like,
I'm
get
not
outta
gonna
here.
say Call of Duty. I was gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna spare you guys.
It's coming out in a couple days. Let's talk about it.
No, I want to talk about tech companies
would
recording
be a fast
audio for
conversation.
targeted ads
Hmm.
and how you guys feel about
What
it.
audio are they recording?
Yes, overall like snippets basically
Yeah.
of your voice in your conversation. So
Like on our phones?
on
They're
So
already
phones,
doing
yeah.
it. They're already doing it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
might as well target ads toward us and do something useful with it, I guess. I mean, they already target you through Facebook by what you look up.
Yeah,
They-
but
you're
that's
already being
controlled,
targeted by.
though. But this is uncontrolled because it's picking you up whenever
Oh, wow.
they want, whenever the system
It seems
wants to.
bad. It seems like bad
I was
news.
gonna say it's so
Are they-
weird not to have Scotty over here. I kind of miss him.
Hey, what's up? Sorry.
Yeah, it's not very.
I found a
Are they
cool
just building
portal.
profiles of us
Yeah.
somewhere in some grand database so they know everything about us?
They probably already do.
Which is what they're already
Wow.
doing.
they
Yeah.
probably already have done.
At least our purchasing
So,
habits
my
and
first
things
ex-
we like to talk about.
My first example I've seen of it was this guy. He basically had a video where he wanted to test it. They don't have cats. They never talk about cat food or anything like that. He goes, he's like, all right, we're going to talk about cat food. And they started doing it. Doing it for like 2 days. And then cat food ads started
I'll let
popping
you
up on
play.
Facebook,
Go
all over
over
their
there.
phones. I was like, no
This
fucking
is your
way.
microphone too, so you don't want to have that.
I was like,
on.
no way. And I watched another video,
No,
and
you
this
didn't.
guy showed how you can
It's
go to
just
your Google
going-
history.
Okay.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, I'll wear it.
Scotty!
Here, I'll come over and hang out.
Hey.
I'll come
Hey,
over and
look,
hang
he
out.
looks like-
Hold up.
All right.
Watch
I'm
out for the
saying-
mouse.
See how.
And you
What?
you can pull up
Stop it.
you can pull up audio recordings
Oh, no,
basically
the controls are different.
that have been recorded over time, and you go back and listen.
It's not
to,
like they're
what
just
you're saying.
memorizing what was said. It's actually recorded and stored.
Dude, like
for
there was,
future
I
use.
had one where my roommate was like having a conversation with somebody, and it was like maybe half the conversation.
Crazy.
This is my first time seeing Scotty's shorts because he got it. And I'm just like, dying.
Dude, every time we
This
come
is my
over, this
favorite
is what
thing.
he's wearing.
This is
my
my favorite thing in the world right now. His cat
Every
party
time.
shorts.
Cat Barbie.
You know, you can
Party
never
shorts.
not
Dude,
wear
one
those
of 'em-
shorts now, right?
One of those cats has like a fez
He has-
that's a
he has a-
freaking little drink cup.
One has a Dixie cup on his
It's a
head.
Dixie cup fez on a
Yeah.
cat. That cat likes to party. He's a cool cat.
It's like those '90s Dixie Cup fezzes, though.
yeah, with the blue.
It's not-
It looks like someone just.
Why isn't it a red party cup?
Hey, what are we?
Are we-
Let's stop talking about my pants.
Well, they're not pants. First of all,
Oh, sorry, they're shorts.
Are we worried about the implications of this, or is it just like, wow, look what they're doing now? I can't
No, it's
believe it.
freaking me out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
kinda with
freaking
you on
me out,
that.
man.
I was gonna say if you got an Xbox One, it's always watching you anyway.
It's
so
not.
when you get a cell phone,
Some
do you like
lies.
give away your rights to any conversations that you have to be recorded?
Feels like it.
I believe so.
I mean,
Is that somewhere in the fine
part-
print
a
of your
part of
phone
it-
contract?
A part of the conversation, though, is like there are some phones nowadays that come pre-installed with like Facebook
Okay,
and that kind of stuff,
yeah.
and so they already
and
have like.
face recognition.
And there's conditions within those phones that allow the phone to keep
One of what's
operating
funny
the
is
same
I'm
way it
actually getting
does,
the
and allows the
iPhone
app
10
keep
tomorrow.
operating the same way it does.
You would. Okay.
There's people
So
already.
you can't really
announced
stop
already.
it unless you completely disable
What
it.
are we? What are we talking about? Like
Fear of the future, man.
this went from
Things are
video
getting-
games to
Illuminati.
yeah, this went from a
Conspiracies.
conspiracy.
Hey, maybe we
podcast.
should
All
revisit
right,
this
all right, I'm
topic
done.
when you guys have Jeremy on the show,
Okay.
No,
No. Please no.
so that it can just be the whole show, like if we were talking about Pokemon.
Hey, we can. It doesn't have to be all video games. We can talk a little.
I'm not going to talk
every
about
once in a while.
conspiracy
A little bit of
theories.
a-
Alright,
No.
tell us about Pokemon.
Go. Wait, not
What?
Pokemon.
not yet.
Yeah, Bryn, tell us about
Not yet.
Pokemon.
We need another topic or two in between
Yeah,
before we get back to
Pokemon is
Pokemon,
kind of a
Nintendo.
fat
Yeah, I'm gonna want to
Mac
talk
Okay, I
about
have one.
Pokemon, and
Dan
I
will
have a
need to
hard
be
time
reviewed.
getting that. While I'm
BlizzCon
playing this.
is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was actually going to buy tickets. I wanted to.
Where is it at?
Digital ticket. You can get digital
No,
tickets.
I was going to buy
Oh.
physical tickets and actually go to Cali.
Take me with you.
I couldn't, but...
Guys, is BlizzCon essentially OverwatchCon right now?
think of it like
at this
PAX.
point,
Think of it like PAX,
I
but
would
only
say-
Blizzard stuff.
But
And
isn't
it's
it?
amazing.
Isn't it all
Yes.
Overwatch?
No,
all
it's
the
Heroes
time?
of the Storm
What?
as well.
Have you been?
I haven't been, no.
It's Heroes of the Storm as well.
It's here.
Is that still
It's
right
Hearthstone,
now, yeah.
Heroes of the Storm.
Hearthstone for
Yeah,
sure? right?
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
They even have
World of
tournaments
Warcraft.
for World of Warcraft.
And they
And
are having a
Diablo.
little bit of Diablo talk,
but
not a
nothing
whole
new.
lot.
In the
Nothing
past,
new.
though, they've announced things like StarCraft 2 at this thing. They announced Diablo 3 at this thing.
Well, but
We're not anticipating
StarCraft
anything
is-
big,
We're
right?
not going to get a
Over.
new game.
we're not going to get StarCraft.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I wish they would do more than anything? Just because, in my personal opinion, I believe World of Warcraft has kind of decimated the story. I wish they would kind of take it back and just make us Warcraft 4.
I'd love Warcraft 4.
Just give us the story.
I thought we were on the cusp of Warcraft 4.
Give us a beautiful game
while
that's
now.
just in the same like style of StarCraft 2, but give us Warcraft 4.
Let's stricken
I've
Warcraft
played-
3 from the record, too.
I love that game.
I thought you
don't-
might say that.
No.
I know it's an unpopular opinion.
It's the.
I think Hero
unpopular
Units
opinion.
killed that series, to be honest
Um,
with you.
So were the original
But there's
Warcraft
Hero
games
Units in
RTSs?
StarCraft 2.
Yeah, they were
I
original
know.
RTSs.
But they fixed the problem.
World
Kinda.
of Warcraft
Which is
was
the
supposed
overpower.
to
They
be,
weren't
and then
OP,
they
yeah.
just were like, no, let's make a new game.
So
World
over
of
the last
Warcraft was
year,
actually supposed to end like 4 years ago.
Blizzard has had some smaller projects over the past year. They released
Like
StarCraft
Overwatch.
Remastered. That's a big project.
StarCraft Remastered,
Which looks good.
it looks good, but
Big
if you
project.
already have the original, it's not worth purchasing.
Okay. They also
Honestly.
re-released like Diablo 1 within Diablo 3 or something like that.
Something like that.
I remember hearing news about that. I didn't follow up on it. Or it could have been just like a dungeon in Diablo 3 that was modeled after the original game. But they've been doing smaller things like that. Is there anything like that you guys like to hear about? out of-
I would love to have
Blizzard.
a Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 that works on a 64-bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I thought you were about to say a 64
Warcraft
console.
2
I was
does
like, wait.
not work on a 64-bit system. You
So-
have to
So
revert
maybe
back.
like a StarCraft remaster, but
But
with Warcraft 1 and 2.
and 2.
I'd be all for
I would
it.
love to see
Little
that.
orcs
So
and humans.
The Warcraft
action.
1, 2, and possibly 3, or possibly 4, right? Those are
I would love to
When,
have a
when
full-
was the first one came out?
those are basically like
because they're-
the first one
Yeah, they
is
are. Yep.
really,
Look it
really
up.
bad.
When did the first one release? Because here's what my thought is: if they were to do that, they'll do it as like, oh, this game has been out for 20 years or something like that. Here's an
I'm-
HD
but
release.
I'm gonna guess
StarCraft came out in
1989.
like
When-
1998.
you don't need to raise your hand. This isn't high school.
Blizzard Entertainment announced World of Warcraft on September 2nd,
That's
2001.
World of Warcraft. We're talking about Warcraft.
It's
Warcraft.
called Warcraft,
Oh,
Orcs and
Warcraft.
Humans.
Good
What's your
Lord.
guesses, you guys? I say 1989.
1993.
When were you born?
What's it called?
When were you born, Bridget?
Just first
Warcraft 2
game.
would have been like 94, I think.
Yeah, it was.
So
November
1994.
23rd.
Warcraft, Orcs and Humans.
Oh, that was my year.
94.
94 was the
94.
first one? Oh.
Yep.
My
And
grasp
Rapid
of
Production,
history in my
Because I know
childhood
that
is
So,
insane.
StarCraft came out
was
in 98.
95, and then
Yeah.
95.
The
I thought
first
StarCraft
one.
was 98.
Brood War was 98.
Oh.
So we have 2 more years. It'll be the 25-year anniversary because I'm 23 right now. So, and I was born in '94.
You guys are so young.
So I'll be a
Right?
half.
How
I'll
old
be.
are you, Dad?
I'll be a quarter of a
28,
century old.
28, yeah.
Mhm.
I had
Britain's
to think about that for a
old.
So Uncle and
Like,
Dad.
Hey.
I was born in
Dan-
65.
Dan, StarCraft
Dang.
was released
Shit.
March 31st, 1998.
Say dang.
Brood War was released in 99.
Oh, Dan,
Are
you
you
got
sure?
fact
I
checked.
mean,
Sorry. Brood War was released a couple years later. It was released on Mac in 99.
so I have a question.
Okay, what's up?
You may be answered.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll try.
So
We'll attempt.
So next year we
Is-
could have a 20th anniversary release.
is Blizzard too busy to come up with anything new?
No.
That was my point.
No.
They're so focused on Overwatch right
no,
now.
they're not.
The
They
thing
have
is with
teams.
Overwatch, right? This is my understanding of it. With Overwatch, they have a finite number of heroes that, or whatever they call them, that they're planning on introducing. Once they have that mass,
How about
they're
costumes,
not
Dan?
going to do more.
How about
The other thing
costumes?
is, they are also hardcore working with Hearthstone right now because it took off. People love that. Look at how many people are trying to copy it. We have Elder Scrolls card game, which is not as good as
We have a
some of
Dota
the-
card game coming out.
Everybody's trying to hop on that because Blizzard came out with it and was like, look, we did it better than just about everyone else.
Yeah, it's popular. I just want games like the games that made me fall in love with Blizzard in the first place.
Well,
the
see,
RTSs.
here's
the
what
Diablo.
RTS
I
is
agree.
what I miss too, and they
Yeah.
haven't done one of those for ages.
It's been such a long
I
time.
mean, StarCraft 2, yeah, but that it's still been
even
a
that's
few
been
years.
a while. Yeah, right.
We should all
And
get Diablo
it was
2 and
fantastic.
then we'll stream it on Twitch.
Diablo.
Let's do it. I have
it's not even
Diablo 2.
multiplayer.
Yeah, Diablo 2.
I have it. Let's do
that
it.
that might be a candidate for a remake. Has there been any news about a potential remake
Isn't
of
there
Diablo
already a
2?
remake?
No.
Because people love Diablo 2.
Wasn't there like there's an HD
As long
remake
as they don't do it in the
of 2.
style of
Nope,
3, I think
hasn't
it'll
happened.
change it too
What?
much.
What did they release
Yeah.
last year for Diablo? I don't remember.
The point is,
Oh, it was
Blizzard's got
Diablo
nothing.
1. That's what it was. It was they made an HD remake of Diablo 1.
Okay.
Not 2. I can
Okay.
remember.
So I doubt there will be any
There
huge
is no
news out of
official
BlizzCon.
announcements for anything regarding Diablo 2.
R.I.P.
Okay.
How do you get that game? Where do you get it?
You can buy it on
purchase it
Battle.net.
on Battle.net
Oh, can you?
for like $9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
You can get the battle chest too. It comes with
Is that
it's
$15?
not Lord of Destruction.
How sad is that?
Is it?
They're making money
Maybe.
off of a game that's like 10 plus years
I think
old.
it's Lord
Look
of
at
Destruction.
look at every publisher. Nintendo does the same thing. Come
That's
on.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction.
That's
I just
funny.
bought a SNES Classic, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Those games are
speaking
much
of
older.
Overwatch,
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
they
great.
are an esport. They
Yeah.
have
No
their full tournament
way!
here.
What's your point?
They're having their World Cup, which I
Yeah.
believe is their first
No,
World
it's
Cup.
not.
It's not? Did they have one for
They had them last
2016?
year, yeah. I watched it.
Which is
I watched it, it was
interesting
good.
because when it was in beta, they were talking about how it would never become an esport because of the differences in the characters and how everything came together.
I mean,
I love the
yeah,
fact.
except League of Legends is the thing.
I
Yeah.
know.
Dota is the thing. I mean, that's exactly
But-
what has made good esports.
Yeah, because
exactly.
Dota has the biggest prize pool of any gaming tournament in history.
Yep.
This last year, it was $21 million, all community funded,
Wow.
all of it. I think Valve put like some money in, but for the most part, like Dota 2, their entire tournament is all community funded. It's basically just they come out with what's known as a battle pass, and you level it up from. They normally do it for about 3 or 4 months, and you essentially can level this battle pass up, and you get treasures and things like that. But you can actually buy levels to boost your levels up, and it gives you things like treasures, different skins. It gives you special items that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else, things like that. And people, I mean, I'm gonna regret saying this, but
Here it comes.
I probably put a good $400 into this last compendium.
Wow.
You're disgusting.
You are a whale, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, congratulate.
Gotcha.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Liquid for making my $400 back with your $13 million prize that you got for winning first.
So
In
basically,
a 3-0 stomp, by the way.
so basically, there's
Eat that, Japan.
a ton of people like you that
It's actually
purchase
China.
these passes that basically fund the tournaments.
Yeah.
They don't have major sponsorships or anything
Oh,
like
they
that.
do. Absolutely, they do. But teams, so like Monster, Intel, computer companies, and things like that will sponsor teams.
And money probably goes directly to them, right?
It'll go to the players. It'll go to the organization, because it's not just the players. It's their team is an organization, so it's a lot of people behind the scenes. It's essentially a company that they get ran. So it's like this team that just won last year's international is mostly from Europe, but the corporation that owns the team is a U.S. based team. So it used to be all U.S. players, but then they drafted out everyone, and it just happened that they were all European. I think most of them were Swedish. But the Team Liquid, is actually a U.S. based organization.
Yeah, they've got a league team as well.
Yeah, they have a league team as well.
Oh, so basically they're an organization with different teams playing in different things.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, they used to be
Um,
Curse.
Yeah.
Back to Diablo for a split second. The first
I
game
wanna
is
keep
$10.
talking about Dota, though.
The expansion is also $10. They
Sweet.
do not have a battle chest for both.
Sweet.
So,
we'll pay $20.
I do have
to
a
buy
question,
the game,
though.
'cause I wanna
Like,
play it. What?
What's the jump? Because you have Overwatch players that reach Masters and they're good.
Yeah.
But where's that jump? How do you get to esports level? Like,
For
the
what,
answer
Dota
is
or Overwatch?
for Overwatch.
Oh,
you get scouted for that. So
Yeah.
people who are in Masters are good, and that's just
they're very good.
they're very good, and so as a result, people are going to keep an eye on the people in Masters. Now, it's not just being good, right? You also have to work with people. You have to be able to move to wherever it is that they're having these teams get together, right? So for League of Legends, it's all in LA or wherever it is in California. Dota, I don't know if teams travel or if most of the teams are located right around Blizzard.
It's right where it's wherever their home is, and they literally just get found. Streams like Twitch and stuff like that has really been upping pro players coming into the circuit.
I mean, if you go on YouTube and start watching number one Genji or number one whoever in the world, you'll just start seeing all kinds of
There's
video.
never a one certain person because
That's,
say Bryn's the best Genji player of all time,
Mhm.
number one in the circuit right now. I could be watching YouTube, and I'm also at the level that he's at as a professional player, and study every single moves he does, and be exactly like him in every single way. KDA, all the exact same.
Mhm.
So now there's
Or
two of the best players.
close
quote
enough that it
unquote.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah,
and the
so
difference
close
is
enough.
that you, as the pro player in the instance, also you're just as good at every other offense hero.
Yeah, exactly. So it's there's never a single person. I mean, that can't be said for everyone because people for League of Legends' sakes, Faker, isn't he considered still the number one player? Yeah.
Yeah, but he still loses games because people know that, and people take that
Exactly.
into account and they say, all right, well, let's make sure that he can't carry.
Exactly. So it's there's never a number one player of all time because back when I was really big into League competitive stuff, was probably about 3, almost 4 years ago now. And even back then, Faker and SK Telecom was still one of the best teams of all time, and he was still the best player of all time. And even after all that, he's still the best player, but he still loses. They're not a godly team, even though they won two of the championships in a row, right? Didn't they win 2 league champs in a row?
SKT?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
They
okay.
won one.
Uh-huh.
They didn't even make it the next year. And
Oh,
then they
really?
won another one.
Okay.
And they're probably going to win this year, too.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Oh, boy. What else do we have on the docket?
Let's see.
Talk about pro players.
Dota 2 patch.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about more Dota 2 stuff.
Do it, Scotty.
It's a good segue.
Or not,
It's a good
whatever.
Ah, dude.
What are the changes?
Oh, they changed everything. Okay, so every... they do normally one massive patch a year. So they'll do one massive patch, and then... Actually, they do 2, sorry. They do one right before the International, and then they do one right after. So essentially the International is their championship for Dota 2, and the first one this year was 7.0.0, or it was 7.00. So this patch essentially changed the entire map. And once we got to playing it, we got to learn everything about it, and then we got all the professionals playing on it, and then they would learn things that some of us wouldn't know, so then we'd learn from them. And it's essentially, it gets to the point where you learn everything about the map that you possibly can, and then after the International's done, Valve takes all that information into account, and they're like, okay, what do we need to change this up to make it different? And what can we do to change heroes? How can we change the environment? Seconds on creep camps, seconds on spawn times, things like that. And this one that just came out, they changed a lot of things. They reworked, I think it was 3 heroes from the ground up. So they essentially took these heroes that they had this certain skill cap to them, and they essentially flipped it on its head and changed them all around. So, and most of that's because of the International, because they're like, okay, this person's getting banned too much, or this person's getting picked too much. Like, how can we tweak them so they can be in play for the next tournament or something like that? So, for example, there was this hero that is mainly support. That's all he did. He wasn't a huge damage dealer, but they just changed not only some of his abilities around, but his like talents, and he can essentially become a carry as a support. He can drain other heroes' strength to essentially nothing. It's pretty disgusting. But this new patch came out and it changed heroes. It made different things disappear on the map, and they changed stair layouts and just little super minute details that someone who hasn't played a lot wouldn't notice. But if you have noticed,
And
or
you're
if you have
into it.
played, yeah, it changes everything. Like
And
everything.
This isn't necessarily a new concept because I mean,
No, it's not.
Look at the reworks for Overwatch. I don't know how far back it goes.
Yeah, but
You
did
know.
they change maps though? That's the thing. That's the big thing is map change. Like you get this game that's so
The game's existed for like decades.
a
at
long
this
time,
point.
yeah, a long time. Like, and they essentially take a map and they've changed it about 4 or 5 different times, and it's ever changing. I think that's really cool that they do that. Just make things different. I know I'm the only one talking here because no one else plays Dota.
Sorry.
So,
No, okay, I mean,
it's fine.
I'm taking all the information.
It's fine. Yeah, no.
So let me throw my perspective
From
on
a
this.
League player.
From a League player. So one of the things that League does differently, right? So you mentioned they do basically 2 big patches a year.
Yeah.
So League does some things that they wait, they wait until the preseason. So there will be a reasonably big patch pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Where they change things. And I guess what's different is that they have a patch every 2 weeks or so throughout the whole year. Sometimes it'll go 3, but for the most part they do all the minor changes along the way.
Yeah.
They release 4 or 5 champs a year, and those all come out during those times. So it's a different sort of balancing philosophy, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that it's interesting to see the different approach. So I'm sure in a few weeks here I'll have some really interesting stuff to talk about with League.
For League, yeah.
I know there's some rune changes coming up. There's another new champion that's being released. So like there's definitely some cool stuff to talk or think about. But
Oh yeah, we also got 2 new heroes in Dota 2. That's pretty important too.
yeah, so
Just
and then
glossed over that.
I guess the other thing is that most of the minor patches that you get throughout
Yeah.
the year are just that. They're minor patches. They don't tackle system things. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
tackle new champs most of the time.
Just little
little things, little balance changes. This champ isn't performing the way we want them to, so let's see if we can change that.
Yeah.
This champ is too strong, so we need to tackle that,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth.
Yeah, no. I like the fact that they change things up and make it different. So then you feel like you're not playing the same game over and over again, like Zelda 2. What is it, like garbage game is garbage or
guys.
something like that? I don't remember.
Hey guys,
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear you say any of that.
Okay, yeah.
Is Valve ever gonna make a
Half-Life
video-
3?
a
No,
video game
no, they're
game?
never gonna make Half-Life 3.
Is it just all Dota from here on out? I don't care about Half-Life 3, believe it or not. I want Portal 3 so bad, so
Yeah, they also
bad.
do fucking.
They're playing.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
Not
they're
Left
doing
4 Dead.
Half-Life
Left
3?
4 Dead, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
Half-Life 3 confirmed. What?
What? No, another competitive shooter.
Left 4 Dead.
Oh, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
Half-Life mod.
that-
well, it used to be.
That game is gonna stay the way that it is
I
forever.
can't. I actually can't believe that's
Speaking
not dead.
of giant MLG games.
No, dude.
Did CS:GO stick,
Oh
or-
yes.
or are people still
Absolutely.
playing the original?
Everyone's still. A lot of people are still playing the original, but Go it took off.
Go
Yeah.
is nuts. I
It's
know
massive.
So many people.
Watching it's intimidating, that game. Like you don't even want to buy it because there's the players of that game have been playing for so long. Their skill cap is just through the absolute roof.
I've watched some pro playing on that one.
It's
and the
insane.
way they know the spots and angles and timing. Like they know when people are supposed to come around a corner.
Timing, they know little dots and things that you can shoot through. It's a little ridiculous how that game has adapted. Like if you go on the Steam Marketplace, that game has not only been played forever, but the economy of that game is ridiculous. Like people don't think of economies when it comes to game. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about like in-game gold or something like that, like World of Warcraft. I'm talking real money. If you go into the Steam Marketplace and you look at some of the weapons and stuff for CS:GO, go into the thousands.
Are these just
easily.
skins and
Hey,
stuff?
Yeah, skins.
Basically?
Skins,
It's
knives,
all
things
it's
like that.
cosmetic, right?
All cosmetic
Yeah.
stuff. But that's
Wow.
the same with Dota 2. Like, for some reason, Steam loves their cosmetic stuff, and people will buy it
Yeah.
with
Oh, like
real money.
Like
Mhm.
crazy. You get a good gun from a good box on CS, and it's like worth $120.
And you can sell
stuff
it like that easily.
So, you were talking about new games by Valve.
Hey, what is that?
Artifact.
I have no idea what that is.
it's the
Their
d-
card game
it's
for
their-
Dota 2.
it's their Dota
I said
2
games, man,
Hearthstone
games.
And the
game.
reason it says Valve isn't working on all kinds of crazy stuff, they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
They
can
can
do
take
it for
their
your
time.
fans.
They can take their time.
Of
and
course
do
they
it.
don't have to. Do it
That's
for
why
your
they're
fans.
doing a Dota 2 card game for their fans. Their biggest fan base
no
is
one,
Dota 2.
no one who plays Dota 2 wants to play this game.
Obviously not, because they're making it.
I'm telling you right now. So they released the trailer for that at International, and they were like, the hosts of like the entire tournament were like, oh, now Valve has a trailer for their brand new game, and they never saw it either. So this trailer plays, and it was it came. We were just like, what is this? What is this? We see all this flashy stuff happening, and at the end card, it's just like Dota 2, the card game, or like
Yeah.
and. Literally, the room was
A
silent.
massive
It was
sigh.
like a collective sigh, and even the hosts of they were like, "Well, we didn't see that coming." Like, super just.
How do you act excited
really-
about that?
Well, it's
Because
kind of
everyone's
funny.
like, "Oh,
dude.
Valve's coming out with a brand new game,"
And it's not.
and it's like, it's not Half-Life
Hey, look,
3.
Valve's
it's
coming
not
out
Portal
with,
3.
look.
None of those.
Valve's taking another idea that they got from Blizzard and turning it into a game.
I think this is Valve's problem. I don't think they can count to 3.
Well, you
that
gotta
explains a lot.
you gotta think about it
Explains
this
a
way.
lot.
Look at Blizzard
Yeah.
and look at Valve.
Yeah.
Blizzard in Warcraft 3 creates Dota.
Yeah.
Dota is created, and Blizzard's like, oh, that's not going to go anywhere. So they just kind of leave it on Warcraft 3's online. Then Valve's like, oh my god, we can take that!
It's
so
the
they
future.
do. Then they do really, really well with Hearthstone. Valve looks over, that's a great idea! Let's do that! It's like,
Who's
so
this
Valve,
crazy
Dang it,
Southern
Blizzard.
guy that
I
runs
know.
Blizzard-
Valve, if you could just
runs Valve.
if you could come up
It's
with
Gabe
something for
Newman.
Blizzard to copy for once, maybe you'd do a little bit better with
You're right.
games.
You're right. They should come up with a shooter game that's real. Oh wait, they have. And then Overwatch came out after the fact. Makes you think.
Yeah,
the
but
takeaway is if it doesn't
I will
have,
say, CS:GO is way different than Overwatch.
Fair enough, but it's
Way,
still,
Oh, I thought you were
like
talking about
that
Fortnite.
is like worlds
That's not Valve, is
different.
it?
No,
I'm not
That
with
is-
it.
isn't
that
that,
is-
isn't that Epic
It's
Games?
almost a
Is that
completely different. Is it still a battleground game? Yes, but
Fortnite?
characters
I
and
don't, your
abilities-
conversation just like
No,
yeah,
Overwatch.
where are you at?
yeah, you went
Overwatch
from
versus
here and then
Counter-Strike.
boom.
Overwatch versus Counter-Strike. You can't. I mean, card game to card game. Okay, how much difference is there really going to be?
A lot.
Dota 2 to Heroes of the Storm. Okay, they're both still MOBAs, but CS:GO to Overwatch is like
Did you get
totally
drunk in
different.
between the
I know. I'm really.
times?
Where have you taken this conversation?
These are like
It went from
vodka the whole
Overwatch-
time we were talking.
It went from Overwatch to CS:GO to back to Fortnite and then back to CS:GO.
Oh, I don't know what Fortnite
That was
is,
me,
so
I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't
Oh,
gonna talk
alright.
about Fortnite. That was.
I
that
just
was
wanted to
great.
get this.
I'm gonna
conversation.
take control and change the topic.
I mean,
Do it.
no, but yes.
I want Brandon to tell us about the closure of Visceral Studios.
Yeah, Brit. Wait, what's Visual
It's
Studios?
And
what-
this Star Wars game that I
There's
don't
not a lot
know
to
anything
say.
about.
Wait, what's Visual
there's-
Studios?
Well, we'll talk about that too. Can you pull
Okay.
up a
A
list of
small
what
time
they've
studio
developed?
that EA just
Not
took
even
a
small
dump on
time.
again.
Got it. Did they make a
So-
Battlefront game that was awful?
This studio, Visceral
Oh, wait,
Studios,
Studios.
was in.
That one gets a sequel.
Shut it. The studio was in the process of making a really high budget, story focused, character focused Star Wars game. And it sounded awesome. There was even some early footage out there, and it just looks gorgeous. The person that was heading this, the creative director, is Amy Hennig. She was formerly of Naughty Dog, so she basically brought Uncharted into this world. Uncharted 1 and 2, and she
What's
worked there for
Uncharted?
part of Uncharted 3.
What's Uncharted?
I'm just gonna keep going.
Didn't Naughty Dog
Yeah, please tell
also
us.
get some of an axe from EA?
They have none.
No?
they don't answer to EA in any
Okay,
way,
good.
shape, or form. No,
Good.
thankfully.
That would be a
Correct on
travesty.
that.
So-
Yeah, because you know that EA would liquidize them in a year because that's what they do to good companies.
All right.
What did Visceral make in the
Liquefy,
past?
yeah.
Hit
All
us
right.
with that
so
really quick.
starting in '98,
Mhm.
Future Cop, LAPD, Cyber Tiger, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, NASCAR Rumble, Road Rash, Jailbreak, 007, Agent Under Fire, Rumble Racing, more Tiger Woods, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, In 04, James Bond 007.
Lord of the Rings: The Third Age.
In 2007, the My Sims and the Simpsons game. 2008, Dead Space.
Yes. Okay, you're getting into the territory that I'm
Dead
familiar
Space.
You can do it from the
2009,
1990s to the
2009, The Godfather 2, which I love.
with. Okay.
Dead Space Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
2010, Dante's Inferno. The Sims 3. Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3, Battlefield 3, Endgame, Army of Two, which I loved, and then Battlefield Hardline.
So there's at least a handful of games in there that are unanimously high quality games that people like. I'm a big fan of Dead Space
I
personally.
was going to say, you can see it right there. The DICE has Battlefield now. What do they need Visceral for?
I suppose. I mean, Battlefield's a shooter. We're talking like
I know.
story-based cinematic stuff.
I'm talking about what EA cares
Battlefield
about.
I know.
Battlefield Hardline actually had a story.
So, yeah.
Real
That was good. Okay, sure.
Compare it.
So, yeah, EA went into this studio at some point, looked at the progress that this game was making, and decided that it was no longer worth pursuing for their money. So they closed the studio and they repurposed the assets that existed from this project into what they're saying is a new Star Wars game. But they're also, they're making the Battlefront games nowadays and stuff, so it could end up in a Battlefront game for all we know. But this game had a lot of potential, and it could have been a really, really amazing AAA title, and it's just gone. And the gist of what I gathered for why EA did this is because it didn't have the legs to be kind of the sort of the game that they focus on, which is online, persistent,
multiplayer.
The potential for it to carry itself
every year and sold as a new product.
Sure, franchise potential too.
Probably couldn't put enough DLC so that it's transaction based like the rest of their garbage.
Yeah, a story-based game is not going to have a lot of DLC potential.
I am so salty against that company.
Clearly.
How bad their morals are for the gamer. They care about themselves, and that's who they care about.
Basically, well, I mean, that's what companies do.
And as a
but some
business,
companies can walk the
that's
line
smart.
between doing that and still serving their
Blizzard.
fans in a meaningful way.
Blizzard, do they do some stuff that makes us mad? Yes, but for the most part,
They're
do stuff that everybody loves.
They're very community based.
They're very in love with
You
the
have
gamers.
to invest
EA
in
is
your-
very in much with the money.
Right.
Yeah.
You
that's
have
true.
to invest, even if it's not always fiscally smart, you still have to invest in your consumers, your core audience at various times.
I mean,
Otherwise, eventually it's going to catch up to you. If
You
you're
gotta-
only doing everything that you do in the interest of making more money,
like they did with Battlefront 1, by the way, you buy the deluxe edition, your weapons do 50% more damage.
Mm-hmm.
How is that okay in a competitive game with no story?
right, yeah, no, it doesn't work out.
The
So
answer is
what
that
bums
it's
me
really
out
not.
is, what does this mean for the future of AAA games in general? Does everything from this point forward have to be multiplayer? Does everything have to have the potential for massive amounts of DLC?
This is
Can
why
we not
play
have a
indie.
game released that is complete, awesome, well polished, tells a great story, is character focused, and that be enough?
It's called the new South Park game. Okay, let me talk about this.
Yeah, Ubisoft's
Real quick.
doing right by a lot
There.
of people these days.
Well, and it's unfortunate because it's not just EA you're seeing this from. You're seeing this from a lot of companies. Like, let's look at Final Fantasy 15.
Let's not.
Take
I'm kidding. I'm
we
sorry.
cut this game. So old Final Fantasy games, 4 discs, 200 hours, all kinds of end game content.
You mean
We've
Final
cut
Fantasy
it down.
7?
We've cut it down to this little game that's like maybe 30 hours if you actually do some side
And
stuff.
somehow the side stuff was not that fun
And the
either.
side stuff is simply a grind in an open world, and there was plenty of spots where you could see it. The story could have been expanded so much more. They could have gone into this character, into this god. But instead we get this little thing because they just want to pump out something to try and keep up with these other companies. And you're like, I liked the game, but I still give it a strong 6.5 out of 10 because there's so much that it's like, this is a quarter of a game
Yeah.
from this company. And I mean, if Final Fantasy 13 had to have this many sequels, why didn't you just make it one big game?
I don't know, 13 was long. 13
Still,
didn't have the problems you're saying 15 had. Even just the first 13 game
13
was
had
long.
a mess of different problems.
It sure
We're
did.
not going
It
to
sure
get
did.
into
We
it
don't
right now
have to.
because that's
I mean,
more.
What's up?
From what I can,
Oh.
keyboard is not working.
from
What?
what I can find on Kotaku,
Mhm.
Visceral
doing? Why
Star
are you
Wars
pressing my
game was like an Uncharted take.
Right, Amy Hennig helming
be
it kind of
great.
indicated that was kind of the direction it was probably going.
We're
Yeah.
swapping out. We're tagging
And
out.
how long
okay.
has it been since we had a real Star Wars RPG?
Stuff hitting everything.
It wouldn't have been an RPG. It was an action game for sure. It was like a third-person action
But the
game that they were
MMO
developing.
And, I mean, but just
I mean,
a
'cause there
game
was,
that's not a shooter.
Sure.
The last, I want to say the last really good Star Wars game, in my opinion,
Force
that wasn't a shooter, was The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
couple
not
of those,
counting
right?
the MMO because the MMO is, I don't want to talk about the MMO.
We don't have to. That came and went.
Well,
like
we
many
feel- we
MMOs do
feel
these
strongly.
days.
You know, I had really high aspirations
We do.
for Star
We all did.
Wars.
Now,
I just hope other studios don't see this and follow suit and be like,
I agree.
maybe EA's right.
I was-
Maybe
it's
it's
a-
smart to only make
I
online
was sad
games.
that LucasArts sold to EA. There's other companies that would have done much better with Star Wars.
So it says
yeah.
in the weeks leading up to the studio's
Like
closure,
anyone.
the staff of Visceral Games had crunched hard, working long hours to make a demo for Ragtag that they hoped might impress EA. So they're trying to even set up a demo, and they're still working
Yeah.
hard to push it. But
So
you
EA's
just
writing the
don't
checks.
push it.
They probably give them a deadline. You better give us something good to show us where this project's going. We're going to come in a couple weeks and check it out, and that happened. And apparently, it wasn't what they wanted to see.
You know,
This sounds very reminiscent of KOTOR 2 when Obsidian was getting super pushed, and so they put out the game missing like 50 hours of content, and then you had to get a mod to complete the game, and now the game comes with the mod to complete the game. It's like, how about you
Not the
let
best
them
way to go
develop
about
the
it.
game that was great?
yeah, and you
And
have a
if that means they have to push back, like we talked about South Park, we know it's got pushed back a bazillion times, but you know what? When they put it out, it's probably going to be a damn quality game.
Yeah.
And because
It
of the
turned out
pushbacks, they're
right.
giving you the stick of truth for free. No replay value after you beat that game, but they're giving it to you for free.
I'm dumb. I had to look up KOTOR.
No.
So
Get good,
It's okay,
scrub.
Zach.
as much as I like really dumping on EA.
Sorry, I was also super into
yeah,
Star Wars.
We're
So
getting
it's a
we're getting
double
pretty
win
close
time.
to the end of our time, and I did want to talk about
Yeah,
Pokemon.
We do
So-
Do it,
need
yes,
to
by
talk
all
Yeah,
means.
about
you got the
Pokemon.
last 7
I got
minutes.
Speaking
yeah.
of passionates.
So Britton and I, passion,
Oh, passion.
pets, yeah.
Passion.
Britton and I have talked
Put your
about
hat on, put your hat
Pokemon
on.
quite a bit. Yeah, I should get the hat on. We've talked about Pokemon quite a bit over the last probably month here.
For sure.
Because I've been excited about the release of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So, in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, to touch on a few things that are upcoming, as of like yesterday or today or whatever.
This morning.
Yeah, this morning. So, we saw a little bit more on the post game. So what we knew before is that there are other worlds that you can go to in the post game. They didn't really go into detail on that, but you could go and battle Mewtwo. So this morning we confirmed some of the stuff that we talked about. First off, in these other worlds, you can go catch pretty much every box art legendary and every legendary trio that has existed in a Pokemon game up to this point.
That's never happened before. Right?
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire did it. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
At least
with wormholes,
to
but
to an extent. There might have
was
been a few
different.
missing, but
Okay.
this way should be a little bit better. Hopefully,
Mhm.
we don't know many of the
the
details.
wormhole worlds. Looks
Zach
a lot
has a
more
question. I
promising.
suspect it's important to answer.
Yes, as a Pokemon like Emma style, what is this going to be on?
The 3DS.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It will be the last
Yeah, the
Pokemon
last
game
3DS.
for the 3DS.
Right.
After
So-
this, we are moving to main console.
And we'll talk about that
yes, we were.
probably on another episode. To be
Right.
honest, 'cause we don't
Because
have
that's a
whole lot of time.
lot.
But another thing that's come up that looks pretty cool. There is a presence by the ever loved Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Now known as
Gen
Team
1.
Now known
Rainbow
as
Rocket.
Team Rainbow Rocket. So
Hmm.
the basic idea here that we've been told in this trailer, and this is, I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit spoilery, but I kind of want to talk about it
Do
anyway.
it.
The idea is that that you go and you battle the various leaders of all of the teams from all of the games, but you're battling them from worlds in which their evil plot succeeded.
That's real cool.
Which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I don't know exactly what that's going to entail, but let's go down the list a little bit. You have Team Rocket from Gen 1 and 2, right? They went on to earn $10 billion or something. I don't actually really know ultimately what that means, but Giovanni has Mewtwo, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
It's-
believe
it-
their
it's there.
overall want was to take over the world using Pokemon and kind of enslaving them.
Yeah. Gen 3, you have Team Aqua and Team Magma, who wanted to get rid of the oceans and make everything ocean. You have Gen 4 was Team Plasma.
Yes.
Correct.
Delegate is
I
very
forgot.
confident about that.
That's plasma. Gen
Yeah.
5 was Team Galaxy.
Okay. I didn't play Gen 4 actually.
Gen 4 is
5
Team Plasma.
Gen 5 had N is what I remember.
Yeah,
And
which
it
is Team
had
Galaxy.
probably the most reasonable like evil team message of any of the games. Until you get to the end of the game, and then it's like, wait, you're insane. But and then you have Team Flare, who's like, let's be stylish or something. Also,
It's a noble
legendary
ambition,
Pokemon.
really.
So
Please.
anyway, you get to battle all of these guys in worlds where they won. So
Okay.
that should be pretty.
I
cool.
like that premise. That sounds cool.
So in terms of interesting story things to do after the end of the game, it's there. I don't know exactly how much is there, but that's something.
Is it weird that that is in this game and not the next game? What does
So
that have
this
to do
game-
with Sumo?
So here's the thing. I suspect what they're trying to do here is they're bringing an end to this not just this generation, but this era of Pokemon, right? We've had Pokemon on the handhelds forever, right?
Since
We've had console
Game Boy
Pokemon
Color.
games. Okay,
The Game Boy
but
OG.
we've had Pokemon games on handheld for over 20 years, and now they're finally taking a step into putting it onto an actual real like home console. And sure, it's a home console that has portable capability, and that's why they did
I saw a
it.
statistic recently that something like 70% of Switch users use it predominantly as a portable. So take
Yeah.
that for what it's worth. A
That's-
lot of people are
that's
still
fair.
using this as a dedicated
But
handheld
they
gaming
do
machine.
still
which is
have to
smart.
account for the fact that some people are playing it at home, which means
Yeah,
they have
but I
to
would
create a
love for a
Pokemon game
Pokemon
that
game.
has to be played on a big screen.
Sure.
That can be played. So
the game's going to be
so
gorgeous.
this is the last game
hope
that is
so.
going to be like this because it is on the handheld, and so I think that they're aiming to say, "Hey, take a look at everything we've done for the last 20 plus years, and let's give you little snippets and bits and pieces of it all together in one little."
It's
nice,
a greatest hits, man.
Yeah.
Well, and even the battle agency adds on to that. It's like, here, you can now rent Pokemon with certain abilities, and then you can get new items and new all kinds of stuff just by using these other Pokemon, which is kind of reminiscent of Pokemon Stadium.
Mhm.
You didn't get to
Sure.
pick your moves
Yep,
for your
Pokemon
in that
Coliseum,
game.
Mhm.
you know, all those the
Yeah.
classic console games. So we'll have to wait until it actually comes out to see what the depth of that post game is like. Because
Sure.
certainly Sun and Moon, the depth was not there. You had one battle tower that you go do, and that's it. I mean, there really wasn't anything else.
They
I guess
probably
there
have
was
this in the
there was
back
a
of their
plot
minds
bit, but
when they wrapped that game up.
I'm sure that they did. And Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire had a similar upgrade in content after the fact to X and Y. Even though they weren't the third game in a series like these ones are, they still they did do that upgrade. So they similarly introduced a way to get a lot of former legendary Pokemon you didn't have access to. They had a fairly robust like battle island with a lot of different things that are useful for people who are trying to do competitive, training, which is something that Sun and Moon kind of lacked in a few ways. Like some of it was easier and other bits of it were way harder. So I'm interested to see how all of that pans out in the end. There's probably a lot more to talk about. What else would they do?
Totem stickers.
Yeah, totem stickers. In Sun and
Which
Moon, you
is-
could go gather a whole bunch of little green balls of goop or something. I don't actually know.
Fun.
But that's how you got the legendary
Zygarde.
Yeah, Zygarde is collecting all of those. So this time around, I don't know if they've replaced it or just put this alongside it, but you go and you collect totem stickers, and then you can use totem Pokemon, which are
Bigger.
big versions of Pokemon.
It doesn't look like it's changing any power or anything. It's just going to be the fact that the Pokemon looks bigger.
With
and it's kind of
with
Although
Mega
they
Evolutions,
could-
that feels kind of
they
redundant.
could be. Yeah, well, Pokemon's good at doing redundant
Oh
things.
yeah,
so,
fair enough.
The other thing is, there's not a whole lot of looking. There isn't any looking for Mega Stones in that game, is there?
No, they're
And so
available
you're looking
in Sun
for
and
other
Moon. The way
things.
you got Mega Stones was about half of them were available at the Battle Tower with the battle points that you get through doing that. The others were all put a code into your system and unlock it that way.
Yeah.
That was it. So
So now you have
I-
something else
I-
to search for.
I hope
Right.
that they don't do the code thing this time around, because it felt like it was needlessly gated off content. Megas.
Get rid of.
This
Z
is something I could
powers
talk
and
about
keep
for
Megas.
ages.
Yeah, we can tell that you can talk
Yeah.
about it for hours, but we have a
Let-
minute left, so
Okay.
we're gonna wrap this
Yeah,
up
we'll
here.
wrap that up.
Any
I have a lot to say about Megas.
So do I.
Another
Someday
day.
there will be a
We will
Pokemon
continue
episode.
on
Yep,
Pokemon
probably
Or some
soon.
days.
later date.
any final thoughts?
I'm excited for Call of Duty. We don't need to go into it.
Give us
but
more Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. Do it. I want it.
You don't want to see anymore. When it
Give
comes,
me it
it'll
all.
come. It'll be good.
Just release the damn thing.
Yeah, I talked about Pokemon. That's all I needed.
Got that off your chest.
You gotta, yeah, I was gonna say,
There.
get off
Now
the
that I've
chest.
done Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts, and Pokemon, I can live my life
Yeah.
the way I want.
Zelda 2 is about the greatest game of all time. Just
Star
so you all
Wars
know.
Battlefront
About it.
coming out.
Okay.
Battlefront
weeks.
2, the apology game.
The
Yeah.
Apology game's coming out.
I've heard good things about it, so
I think it's
The
gonna be pretty good.
apology game.
Doom, Skyrim, and LA Noire are all coming to Switch this month, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
There we go.
Hopefully they sell well.
Now the little kids playing the Switch can crack skulls open and scream at people. Beautiful. Demons.
Yeah, the little
Love
kids playing the Switch.
Demons.
You mean
I
the
know.
20 and
There's
30
no
somethings?
little kids playing the
Anyway,
Switch.
guys, we're coming up here on an hour, so we're gonna end it off right here. For me and my panel of guests, Brooks, thanks for hanging out with us.
Love
Yep, Thank you.
And of course, the rest here.
The
So,
rest.
Thanks.
thank you guys so much for tuning in to another week of VGRx. I'm Scott. We have Zach, Britton, Dan, and then of course Brooks signing off.
Oh,
And
later.
we will see you guys next week. Please
Later,
stop.